What if Allah is already guiding you toward the person you will marry, but the first signs are not appearing around you, they are happening within you? Before the right person enters your life, Allah may remove the wrong people, heal your heart, strengthen your faith, and teach you how to wait without losing your peace. Only Allah knows the unseen, but these 5 powerful changes may reveal that your heart is being prepared for a future built on love, faith, and purpose. 1. Allah removes people who keep disturbing your peace. Before the right person enters your life, Allah may begin by removing the people who constantly confuse your heart, drain your energy, or make you question your worth. Their departure may feel painful because you were emotionally attached to them, but attachment does not always mean they were good for you. Sometimes you hold on to someone because you fear being alone, even when their presence brings more anxiety than peace. Allah may separate you from such people because He sees what you cannot see. He knows which relationships would weaken your faith, damage your confidence, and fill your future with constant pain. What feels like rejection may actually be protection, and what feels like a painful ending may be Allah closing a door that would have led you away from the life you have been praying for. Not everyone who leaves your life is a loss. Some people are removed because their role in your journey has ended. Their absence creates room for healing, clarity, and healthier connections. When Allah protects your peace, He may first remove everything that keeps disturbing it. Trust that some departures are not punishment. They are preparation for something more sincere, stable, and peaceful. 2. You stop chasing love and start trusting Allah. One of the clearest signs of emotional and spiritual growth is when you stop running after people who are uncertain about you. You no longer beg for attention, force conversations, or keep proving your value to someone who repeatedly makes you feel unwanted. Instead of allowing fear and loneliness to control your decisions, you begin trusting that what Allah has written for you will never require you to lose your dignity, abandon your principles, or destroy your inner peace. Chasing love often makes you ignore warning signs because you are more afraid of losing someone than losing yourself. You accept inconsistent behavior, empty promises, and temporary affection because you hope the person will eventually change. But when your trust in Allah becomes stronger, you realize that genuine love should not leave you constantly anxious, confused, and emotionally exhausted. You begin to understand that waiting is better than forcing the wrong relationship. You focus on strengthening your faith, improving your character, and becoming emotionally mature. Trusting Allah does not mean you stop desiring marriage. It means you stop treating another person as the source of your happiness. When you release desperation, you become able to recognize love that arrives with sincerity, respect, stability, and peace. 3. Allah heals the wounds that made you choose wrong. Before Allah brings a healthy person into your life, He may first heal the hidden wounds that once made unhealthy relationships feel normal. Past rejection, loneliness, betrayal, or a lack of affection may have taught you to accept less than you deserved. You may have mistaken attention for love, control for protection, and emotional intensity for genuine connection because your wounded heart was searching for relief rather than wisdom. Healing begins when Allah helps you recognize the patterns that repeatedly led you toward the wrong people. You start understanding why you ignored warning signs, tolerated disrespect, or remained attached to someone who gave you more pain than peace. This realization can be uncomfortable, but it is also a form of mercy because you cannot change a pattern you refuse to see. As your heart heals, your choices become different. You stop being impressed by beautiful words without consistent actions. You no longer confuse temporary affection with serious commitment, and you become more careful about who receives access to your emotions. A healed heart does not demand perfection, but it knows the difference between normal human weaknesses and behavior that destroys trust. Allah may be preparing you for a better relationship by teaching you to choose through faith, character, wisdom, and self-respect. The healing season is not delaying your future. It may be protecting you from repeating your past. 4. Your dua becomes clearer and more mature. As Allah prepares your heart for marriage, one of the deepest changes may happen inside your dua. In the beginning, you may pray mainly for a particular person, a quick answer, or the end of your loneliness. Your heart may become attached to one name, one outcome, or one idea of how your future should look. You may believe that happiness depends on receiving exactly what you want, exactly when you want it. But as your faith grows, your prayers begin to change, because your understanding of love, marriage, and Allah's wisdom becomes more mature. You stop asking only for someone who attracts you and begin asking for someone whose character can be trusted. You ask Allah for a spouse who is honest when no one is watching, gentle during disagreement, responsible when life becomes difficult, and sincere in faith. You begin to understand that appearance may create interest, but character determines whether a marriage becomes peaceful or painful. Beautiful words can make the heart excited, but patience, loyalty, kindness, and emotional maturity are what protect a relationship when the excitement becomes ordinary life. Your dua also becomes less controlling. Instead of saying, Allah, give me this person, you begin praying, Allah, if this person is good for my faith, my heart, and my future, bring them closer in a halal and peaceful way. But if they are harmful for me, remove my attachment and protect me from what I cannot see. This is not weakness, it is a powerful form of trust. You are no longer telling Allah how your story must unfold. You are placing your desires in His hands while believing that His knowledge is greater than your emotions. Sometimes, the person you desperately want may carry qualities that would disturb your peace later. You may see their charm, but Allah sees their intentions. You may see the attention they give you today, but Allah knows how they would treat you after responsibility, pressure, and hardship enter the relationship. You may be attached to the possibility of who they could become, while Allah knows who they truly are. A mature dua recognizes that your heart can desire something that is not good for you, so you ask Allah not only to grant your wishes but also to correct them. You begin praying for protection as much as connection. You ask Allah to protect you from relationships that look beautiful from the outside but are filled with manipulation, dishonesty, or spiritual harm. You ask Him to expose red flags before attachment becomes too deep. You pray for the strength to walk away from what is wrong, even when your emotions want to stay. You stop seeing every closed door as rejection, because you understand that some doors close to save you from entering a life you would later beg Allah to help you escape. Your dua becomes more focused on who you need to become as well. Instead of praying only for a righteous spouse, you ask Allah to make you a righteous spouse. You ask for patience, wisdom, emotional discipline, loyalty, and the ability to communicate with respect. You ask Allah to heal the parts of you that could damage a healthy relationship. You begin working on your habits, your reactions, your faith, and your expectations, because you realize that marriage is not only about finding the right person, it is also about becoming someone capable of building the right kind of home. You may also begin asking for peace rather than excitement. In the past, you might have been drawn to relationships filled with uncertainty, emotional highs, and constant fear of losing someone. But maturity teaches you that true love does not need confusion to feel meaningful. You start praying for a connection where intentions are clear, respect is mutual, and both people are willing to move toward marriage with honesty. You ask for someone whose presence does not pull you away from Allah, but encourages you to become closer to Him. A mature dua is patient without becoming hopeless. You continue asking Allah, but you no longer allow delay to convince you that you have been forgotten. You understand that Allah may be protecting you, developing you, or arranging circumstances you cannot yet see. The answer may require more than bringing two people together. It may involve healing hearts, changing priorities, creating stability, or removing obstacles at the right time. What looks like silence may actually be preparation taking place beyond your sight. You also stop comparing your timeline with everyone else's. When others become engaged or married, you may still feel the ache of waiting, but you do not allow jealousy to poison your trust. You remind yourself that another person's blessing does not reduce what Allah can give you. Their timing is not evidence that you are late. Your story has its own lessons, protection, and purpose, and rushing into the wrong marriage simply to avoid feeling left behind can create years of pain. Eventually, your dua becomes balanced. You ask with hope, but you surrender with trust. You desire marriage, but you refuse to make it your entire identity. You pray for love, but you also pray for discernment. You ask Allah to open the right door, close the wrong one, and give you peace with both decisions. This change in your dua may be one of the strongest signs that your heart is becoming ready. You are no longer asking only for someone who makes you feel wanted. You are asking for a spouse who will help you protect your faith, build a peaceful home, face hardship with patience, and walk beside you toward Allah. When your prayer becomes wiser, your standards become clearer, and your trust becomes deeper, you stop chasing an imagined future and begin preparing for a meaningful one. You realize that the greatest answer to your dua is not simply receiving a person, it is receiving the right person at the right time, in the right way, with a heart mature enough to recognize and protect the blessing. 5. You become peaceful before anyone arrives. One of the strongest signs that your heart is becoming ready for a healthy marriage is that you begin finding peace before anyone enters your life. You no longer wake up feeling that your life cannot begin until someone chooses you. You stop believing that marriage will suddenly remove every insecurity, heal every wound, or give your life complete meaning. Instead, you begin understanding that another person can share your journey, but they cannot replace your relationship with Allah, repair everything within you, or become the only source of your happiness. This peace does not mean you have stopped desiring marriage. You may still make dua for a loving spouse, dream of building a peaceful home, and hope for someone who will walk beside you through life. The difference is that your desire no longer controls you. You can want marriage without becoming desperate for it, and you can feel lonely sometimes without allowing loneliness to push you toward the wrong person. Your heart learns to wait without losing its dignity, faith, or direction. Before this change, you may have treated every new connection as a possible answer to your prayers. A kind message could make you imagine an entire future, while someone's silence could make you question your worth. You may have become attached before understanding their character, intentions, or readiness for commitment. But when peace enters your heart, you stop building permanent dreams around temporary attention. You allow people to reveal who they are, instead of immediately turning them into who you hope they will become. You no longer need constant messages, compliments, or romantic attention to feel valuable. You begin recognizing that your worth was never created by another person's interest and cannot be destroyed by their rejection. Someone failing to choose you does not mean you are unworthy of love. It may simply mean they were not capable of giving you the kind of commitment, honesty, or emotional stability you needed. When you understand this, rejection may still hurt, but it no longer destroys your identity. Peace also changes the way you respond to delay. Instead of seeing every unmarried year as proof that something is wrong with you, you begin seeing the waiting season as part of your development. You understand that Allah may be teaching you patience, strengthening your character, protecting you from unsuitable relationships, or giving you time to build a more stable life. You may not understand every reason behind the delay, but you stop treating it as evidence that you have been abandoned. During this season, you begin creating a life that does not remain empty while you wait. You invest in your faith, family, health, knowledge, work, and personal growth. You develop skills, repair broken habits, and become more responsible for your emotional well-being. You learn how to enjoy your own company without becoming isolated, and how to receive love from family and sincere friendships without treating romantic love as the only connection that matters. This growth prepares you for marriage because a healthy relationship needs two people who are willing to contribute, not two people expecting to be rescued. When someone enters your life, you will not demand that they carry every fear, fill every silence, and solve every problem you avoided facing alone. You will be able to love them without turning them into the center of your existence. You can appreciate their presence without becoming terrified whenever they need space, face stress, or cannot meet every emotional need immediately. A peaceful heart is also less attracted to chaos. In the past, you may have confused uncertainty with excitement. You may have felt deeply drawn to people who were affectionate one day and distant the next because their inconsistency kept you emotionally alert. You were always waiting for the next message, the next promise, or the next moment of reassurance. But as you heal, that kind of relationship no longer feels romantic. It feels exhausting. You begin desiring clarity instead of mixed signals, consistency instead of temporary intensity, and respectful communication instead of emotional games. You no longer feel impressed by someone who knows how to capture your attention but has no intention of protecting your heart. You look for a person whose actions support their words, whose intentions are honorable, and whose presence brings stability rather than constant uncertainty. Peace gives you the strength to walk away when something is wrong. You stop remaining in harmful situations simply because you are afraid that no one else will come. You understand that accepting disrespect will not bring marriage closer. It will only teach the wrong person that they can continue hurting you without consequences. Your trust in Allah becomes greater than your fear of starting again, so you choose temporary loneliness over permanent confusion. You also stop comparing yourself with people who appear to be moving ahead. Engagement announcements, wedding photographs, and happy couples may still touch a sensitive place in your heart, but you no longer assume that everyone else's progress means you are falling behind. You remember that you can see the public celebration, but not the private reality. You do not know the tests inside another person's marriage, just as they may not understand the lessons inside your waiting season. Comparison loses its power when you realize that marriage is not a competition, and life is not a race toward the same milestone. Receiving something earlier does not always mean receiving something better, and waiting longer does not mean being forgotten. What matters is not how quickly a person arrives, but whether the relationship carries sincerity, compatibility, respect, and the ability to survive real life. As your peace becomes stronger, your standards also become healthier. You stop creating impossible expectations, but you also stop accepting the minimum. You understand that no spouse will be perfect, yet you still value honesty, responsibility, emotional maturity, and faith. You learn the difference between being patient with normal human flaws and making excuses for behavior that repeatedly damages your trust. You become more careful about giving your heart away. You do not allow attraction to silence your judgment, and you do not let loneliness make important decisions for you. You observe how a person treats others, responds to disagreement, handles responsibility, and behaves when they do not get what they want. You understand that marriage is not built only on chemistry, it is built on character, revealed through ordinary and difficult moments. This inner peace also improves your relationship with Allah. Instead of making dua only when you feel lonely, you begin turning to Him with gratitude, reflection, and trust. You stop treating worship as a transaction where you obey only to receive a spouse. You worship because Allah deserves your devotion, and you recognize that your relationship with Him must remain central whether marriage comes soon, later, or in a way you never expected. When your heart becomes rooted in Allah, another person's presence can add joy to your life without becoming your entire foundation. This protects the relationship because human beings are limited. A spouse may love you deeply and still become tired, misunderstand you, or struggle through their own difficulties. When you expect perfection from them, love can quickly become pressure. But when your ultimate dependence remains upon Allah, you can approach marriage with compassion rather than impossible demands. You also become more willing to give instead of only thinking about what you will receive. You begin asking whether you are ready to listen, compromise, forgive, communicate honestly, and remain responsible during hardship. You understand that a peaceful marriage is not created by finding someone who never disappoints you. It is created by two people who know how to handle disappointment without destroying respect. This readiness changes the purpose of your search. You are no longer looking for someone to prove that you are lovable. You are looking for a partner with whom you can build a life of faith, responsibility, mercy, and growth. You do not ask only, will this person make me happy? You also ask, can we protect each other's peace, support each other's faith, and face difficulty with maturity? Eventually, you realize that peace before marriage is not emptiness, it is preparation. Allah may be teaching you how to carry your own heart carefully so that you do not place its entire weight upon another human being. He may be showing you that the right relationship should not complete a broken identity, but join two people who are already working toward wholeness through faith and personal growth. When the right person arrives, you will not need to chase them, perform for them, or abandon yourself to keep them interested. You will be able to approach the connection with patience and clear judgment. You will not ignore every warning sign because you fear losing the opportunity, and you will not create unnecessary problems because peace feels unfamiliar. You will understand that sincere love does not ask you to disappear. It allows you to remain faithful to your values while building something shared. It does not make you beg for basic respect or compete for attention. It gives both people room to communicate honestly, grow gradually, and move toward commitment with dignity. The greatest preparation may therefore be the moment you can honestly say, I still pray for marriage, but my life is not meaningless without it. I still hope for love, but I will not destroy myself trying to force it. I trust Allah enough to wait for what is good and walk away from what is harmful. That is not giving up on love. It is becoming ready for a healthier form of it. When peace exists before anyone arrives, you are less likely to choose from fear and more likely to choose with wisdom. You will not expect your future spouse to become your savior because you have already learned where your true dependence belongs. You will welcome them as a blessing, a companion, and a responsibility, not as the missing piece of your identity. Trust the season you are in. Keep improving your character, strengthening your faith, and building a life filled with purpose. The waiting is not wasted when it teaches you how to protect your heart without closing it, and how to desire love without becoming controlled by it. The right person should not be asked to create the peace you never learned to build. They should meet you in that peace, protect it with you, and help turn it into a home filled with mercy, respect, patience, and remembrance of Allah. Not every delay means Allah has forgotten you. Sometimes He is removing what would have harmed you, healing what could have damaged your future, and preparing your heart to recognize the person who brings peace instead of confusion. Do not chase what Allah is asking you to release, and do not lose hope because your prayer has not been answered yet. Keep strengthening your faith, protecting your dignity, and becoming the person you pray to meet. The right marriage is not only about finding someone you love, it is about building a relationship that brings both hearts closer to Allah. So trust His timing, even when you cannot understand His plan. What Allah has written for you will reach you at the right moment, and when it arrives, you may finally understand why every wrong door had to close first.